Hi, today we're going to talk about conditionals. I can't overemphasize to you guys how important this lesson and the next few lessons are. It is imperative that you pay attention, take good notes, and understand conditionals and Boolean out and the Boolean expressions that we're going to go over. Yes, there will be lots of assignments dealing with this, maybe even way past these three assignments. That's how important Boolean logic and conditionals are. Here's some things we're going to go over. We're going to talk about what conditionals are. We're going to look at an example, lots of examples. Talk about the importance, where they're used, and we're going to look at a little code that represents some evaluations. So a conditional is a statement that controls the flow of execution through the evaluation of the state of objects that either result in a true value or a false value. I'm going to say that one more time. A conditional is a statement that controls the flow of execution through the evaluation of the state of objects that either result in a true value or a false value. So what is state of an object? A state of an object is the current value that that variable holds. An int could be 3. A string could be hello world. An enumeration could be the day of week dot Saturday. So conditionals result in a true-false question on a test. You all had true-false questions on tests. When you're helping the teacher grade assignments, the question is right, they get a check. They get wrong, they get an X. Again, this you're making a decision based on the state of the question. Did you do your homework? If you didn't do your homework, you answer yes. If you did if you did your homework, you answer yes. If you didn't do your homework, you answer no. Again, it's based on the state of your homework. Did you attend school? Again, that's a yes or no. If you were at school, the state of your presence at school dictates whether you say yes or no. Did Jesus die for our sins? Yes, he died for our sins. The state of his sacrifice is what is being questioned. So let's look at an example. Peter has some candy. In order to share one piece of candy with each of his 3 siblings and have one for himself, he needs 4 pieces of candy. After counting the candy, he has 8 pieces of candy. Can Peter share his candy with all of his siblings? Well, yes, he can. Now, here's an interesting question. Can Peter share his candy with all of his siblings equally? Well, he has 8 pieces, 3 siblings, including himself, that's 4. So he should be able to give everybody 2 pieces of candy. So, yes. Well, what happens if Peter only has 5 pieces of candy? Can he still share the candy? Well, yes, he can. But can he share it equally with all of his siblings and himself? No, because he will have 1 piece of candy left over. As you can see, it is a true-false question. Conditionals are based on Boolean algebra, which means we will be taking a very long and hard look at Boolean logic through the rest of this year to make sure you guys understand it. It is the core of all software. Everything that we do in writing code revolves around Boolean logic. Every expression, every loop, every evaluation is always based on Boolean logic. It is one of the most important aspects of the language. It's so important that if you do not understand this section, you're going to be lost in the remainder of the year. Why are conditionals important? I kind of went over that, but we're going to talk about it a little. It controls branching. Does the code flow in this direction or this direction? It is the heart of all decision making. You've all made decisions before. Do I do this assignment now or do I wait? I need help with this assignment, so I'll wait and get help later. This math is hard. I need my dad's help. I will wait till he gets home. Conditionals control loops. How many times a loop is performed, when to exit a loop, how to exit a loop. It controls filters. When you're searching through items and you're looking for very specific variables, conditionals are at the heart of what items you're looking for. And it dictates the commands that will be executed. Sometimes you don't want commands executed. Sometimes you do want them executed. So let's talk about the bool. A bool is a type. It has two states, true or false. In this case, we're saying bool, the variable name is present, is equal to true. The A bool is the product of a conditional evaluation. Just because you don't set the evaluation to a variable doesn't mean a bool is the product. Isn't the product. A bool is always the product of a conditional evaluation. So let's look at some evaluators. Equals. Notice there is two equal signs for equals. That's because if there's one equal signs in C#, it is an assignment operator. You cannot do a Boolean evaluation using one equal sign. It must be two. Not equals. The exclamation mark and equals. Now I just said you have to have two equal signs, but there's one here. But you also have a not or a bang. That's what the exclamation mark is called amongst programmers. Bang. Or we say not. When you see the exclamation mark, think not. So in this case, not equal. Greater than, just like math. One equal sign. Or, excuse me, one greater than sign. Less than, again, one less than sign. How about greater than or equal to? Well, in math, we usually write the greater than and underline it. Well, we can't underline in while typing in code. So we say greater than with an equal sign. Notice there's still two operators there. Anytime there's an equal sign, do an evaluation, there's always two operators. Same thing with less than or equal to. You have the less than sign and the equal to. So here's some examples of evaluators. 5 is greater than 6. Well, that's false. You've probably done some of this in maybe 4th or 5th grade math. 6 is greater than 6. Well, that's also false. How about 6 is equal to 6? No. Yes, that's true. 6 is greater than or equal to 6? That's true. 5 is not equal to 6. That's true. And 6 is not equal to 6. No, 6 is equal to 6. This is the standard patterns of how evaluations work. You can evaluate on almost anything. Sometimes you have to write custom evaluators in your code to compare objects, but that is for a later date than today. So how about string evaluations? Well, strings are case sensitive when you evaluate them. So in the first case, hello is equal to hello. That's true. But lowercase h in hello does not equal uppercase h in hello. So that is true because they are not equals. Hello, spelled exactly the same way as its counterpart on the right side of the equation, is false because they're equal, and it's asking if hello is not equal to hello. You can compare date times. In this case, we create a variable for date time, and we called it now. And we set it to date time not now. You're going to use that a lot. It is a current date time object. Then we create another date time object called future and add one day to now. So in our expressions and evaluations, now is greater than the future. That's false. Any date that happens after another date, the date that happens after the after a date is always greater than the first date. So an easy way to remember this is today is greater than yesterday. I know that sounded really confusing, so I'm going to say it again and try to simplify it. I need you guys to remember today is greater than yesterday. Another way to say this is 12 o'clock is greater than 11:59. Remember, today is greater than yesterday. So is now greater than the future? No, that's false. Is the future greater than the future? No, they're equal. Is the future equal to the future? Yes, that's true. Is the future greater than or equal to the future? Yes, because it's greater than or equal. So the key word here is equal. How about is now not equal to the future? That is correct. Right now is not equal to the future. How about the future is not equal to the future? No, they're the same. They're the same date time. So that's false. So let's talk about how to assign evaluations to objects. Well, you need a type, and that is a bool. You need a variable. In this case, we named our variable is greater than. Now, a side note on variables, you can make your variables anything you want to. This is plain English. The clearer you are with your variable names, the more explicit you are with your variable names, the easier it is to understand your code. You need an assignment operator. Remember what I said earlier? One equal sign is an assignment operator. Then you need your evaluation. 5 is greater than 6. That would be false. So when this runs in the code, is greater than would equal false. So here's some more examples of how to do evaluators. I'm not going to go over them all. I'll let you read them. Okay. Should have had enough time to read them. So in summary, we define what conditionals are. We explained their importance. We looked at the bool object, and we went over some Boolean expressions. In the next few days, you're going to get plenty of assignments to help you understand Boolean logic and how to evaluate Booleans. You guys have a great day.